Day 7 of our 100 movie bucket list challenge, and it's 2014's The Grand Budapest Hotel. Directed by Wes Anderson, it sees him Wes Andersoning possibly the hardest he's ever Wes Andersoned. Anyway, this film stars a whole ton of people. I won't go through all the names, but it is truly star-studded and some huge names appear really briefly. This must speak to how much people love working with Anderson. It stars Ralph Fiennes as Monsieur Gustave, the concierge of the eponymous hotel, along with Tony Revolori as young wide-eyed bellhop Zero, whom the older version, played by F. Murray Abraham, is recounting the events of the movie to Jude Law's unnamed author. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of this film is aesthetic. Every frame is so carefully considered down to such meticulous detail, and I adore how colourful it is. There's an almost cartoonish look, if not cartoonish, certainly something that feels otherworldly, absolutely existing in a heightened reality. There's no further evidence of this than how often the characters are so straight and matter-of-fact about the absurd situations they are in, and it's hilarious. And despite the film having a surreal feel, it is incredibly sincere and 100% committed to what it wants to be. Fiennes is hilarious as the impeccable Gustave. He has such a witty quality, with lines that on paper sound absurd, but he delivers them with such sincerity. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's tragic, sometimes both at the same time. Like when he so casually mentions someone being slain in some catacombs. The film is often quite hand-wavy like that with death. Even with prominent characters, it's presented, again, in a matter-of-fact kind of way. In fact, that's how much of the story is presented. Yeah, it's normal for Wes Anderson, but I guess it might turn some people off. For me, it goes hand in hand with the film's painting-like aesthetic. Sometimes I feel like the film wants you to know you're watching a film. You view it for yourself and decide what you want to take away from it. Again, like a painting. I think the on-screen chapter titles speak to this as well. And to be honest, for me personally, this actually goes against what I normally like. I love to be transported to another world and forget I'm watching a film. And with the Grand Budapest Hotel, that doesn't really happen, but it's so vibrant, the performances are so strong, and there's just so much to notice that I really don't mind. It's proof that just because a description of something doesn't necessarily interest you, it doesn't mean you shouldn't give it a go, because you might just discover something you love. Like I love this movie. And I know I haven't even mentioned the plot, but it is a lot of fun. What I love about it is that even though it can sometimes be quite plot heavy, Jeff Goldblum's character in particular talks a lot about it, it is pretty much always informed by the characters and what they do. And if nothing else, I just love hanging out with them in this world. I also want to give a shout out to Willem Dafoe. He is creepy as hell. There's an especially great sequence where he's tailing Jeff Goldblum's character and the tension is absolutely off the scale. Dafoe was already eerily unsettling in the Spider-Man movies, but he might have topped himself here. He might be my favourite character, but that is a hard choice. There's so much to talk about with this film. There's nothing quite like it, and I would say that even bearing in mind the rest of Wes Anderson's work. The film walks its tightrope so nimbly, it's absurd but sincere, silly but heartfelt, funny but tragic. The movie is the most delicious and indulgent cake you could possibly find. Seriously, the cakes in this movie, they look so good. Thanks for coming to my TELF Talk.
I go to bed with all my friends.